Well, we're going to get a Nute Gunray rework. And I think this is pretty exciting because it's going to introduce a new mechanic, extort and profit, and it looks like it's going to be an interesting, smart way to interact. And we're going to get some alternatives to Grievous, Dooku, Droideka, Magna Guard, B1. I think a lot of people have those characters ready to go because of the Padme event. Also, this is going to fundamentally change the way the character works, and the developers said in a previous post that they would be refunding battalion materials. I know there was that Nute Chase strategy that people employed that's not going to rework. That's not going to work at all. This is an entire rework of the way the kit works and the characters' place in the game. And also, we are expecting a rework for Count Dooku incoming as well. So this could be pretty exciting. I think a lot of it has to do with max health effects. So that's the way Padme works, and that's also the way that like Chewbacca works. That's also does not work specifically on certain characters, specifically Malik and both of the Kylo Rens. So there might be a come up of First Order. And for sure, the rework on this kit, it's dominant is still going to be Malik. So let's get into the kit. I got to say, I'm glad to be back in the States. I was in the UK for about a week under NDA, so I really can't talk about it, but I was looking at some new things, some playtesting, things like that, and I'm really glad to be home. And I got to say, give you props to everybody out there in the UK, specifically Brighton. What a beautiful, clean and safe place. I don't know if I've ever been to a nicer place in the entire world. No wonder PewDiePie lives there. Brighton, highly recommend it. The weather was fantastic. If you had Southern California weather, I could totally see myself living there if it had Southern California weather. But let's get into the rework for Nute Gunray. Same thing, dark side support, leader, separatist, scoundrel as a scoundrel tag. Introduces new separatist faction strategies, disrupt enemies with extortion ability. Extortion ability forces enemies to buff opposing team. That's right, when you have extortion, you have to choose on what you want to do. And I do not know how that works. There's a lot of things that are unclear in this, but as we get to play it, and as soon as I could test it out, probably when the new patch hits, patches usually hit on Thursdays. So it's possible that the patch will hit Thursday and I'll be able to make videos about this. Dark side support, leader, scoundrel, separatist. Changes are highlighted in green, and basically everything's reworked. Basic, hard bargain. Deal physical damage to target enemy. If the target had extortion, reduce the cooldown of motivate by 1. And motivate is the third special, or the second special. So it reduces that special right there. Now, what is extortion? Well, we'll get to that here in the first special. Grant the extortion ability to target enemy. If they already had extortion, grant it to the weakest enemy that does not have it. Kind of reminds me of the way Plague works there. It'll bounce around. Then inflict speed down on all enemies, which is really cool, for 2 turns. And then, like I said earlier, and deal 20% max health damage to enemies with extortion, which is a big deal. That's going to shred through characters like Nihilus, which can be mega tanky, have hundreds of thousands of health by the end of the battle, but max health damage is a very big deal. Chewbacca has that. Also, the Courage mechanic under Padme also has max health damage, which can't be evaded. Enemies who use extortion grant profit to allied separatists. So it looks like this team is going to be specifically with all separatists as a Nute Gunray leader. What is extortion? Remove extortion. Recover 10% health and again separatist enemies' profit. So extortion is like an ability added onto the opponent, and they get to choose what to do. I don't know if that takes the entire turn or not, but if that does, that's very powerful. Like, you don't take your turn, and instead of taking your turn, you have to do extortion. I think that's the way it works. Profit, which is given to the Nute Gunray separatist team, 10% critical chance and critical damage per stack, max 50% into the end of battle. Now, I'm going to guess that these are locked icons in blue. I don't know, but that would make the most sense to me if these were blue icons. Because if this is a regular green positive status effect that could be dispelled, That's not so great. We'll have to see how that works out. We can't see if it's a buff or a debuff, or if it's a locked ability or what. We don't know. Or if it's something like Intel on BB-8. We will see. Second special, or his ultimate, Motivate, which can be reduced by the attack if you target somebody with extortion. Dispel all buffs on target enemy and increase their cooldowns by 1, which is better than ability block, because when you increase the cooldowns, then it can't be dispelled. It's just there, and that is very good mechanic. It's way better than ability block, which can be cleared. It can't be evaded. If the target had extortion, call other separatist allies to assist, so that'll be a swarm attack. I like that very much. Asajj can stun on a basic. Think about that. B2 can put up target lock. There's a bunch of really cool things that you can do. Dooku can put out ability block on basic attack, so assists are pretty cool. Let's get to the leadership ability. Backroom Subterfuge. Boy, that's a tough word. That's a tongue twister. Separatist allies have 15% speed and potency for each enemy with extortion. My goodness. Turn-based game, speed is the name of the game for sure. Boy, 15% speed, man. We're talking about characters having 300 speed. That's like giving them an extra 45 speed for each character with extortion. And then there's also a penalty on the other side where they get slowed down if they have extortion. 15% speed for each enemy with extortion. That's like an extra 45 speed. I'm sorry, but that's a big deal. It's huge. It's a big deal. While Nute Game is live, each enemy ends their turn with extortion, dispels their buffs, and grants extortion to another random enemy that doesn't have it. It's like plague, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. Now, if you target with attack somebody that has extortion, then it'll be spread to the weakest enemy. So it will spread like plague, but there's a way of getting rid of extortion, because the opponent that has extortion can remove extortion, recover 10% health, and grant separatist enemies profit. But I believe they lose their turn. That's what it sounds like to me, is like instead of attacking, you're going to get rid of extortion and you're going to prevent it from spreading, which might be very important, because if you end the turn with extortion, it's just going to spread and it's going to go crazy. Unique. Viceroy's Reach. And I don't know if this is a Zeta ability or not, but this looks like a Zeta ability. The post is not really clear here. It says final text. Whenever a separatist ally inflicts a debuff, they also deal 5% max health. Again, we talked about that earlier. Max health is a big deal. Damage to that enemy, which can't be evaded. And enemies with extortion have minus 30% speed and offense. So you could see minus 30% speed and then them having plus 15% speed per extortion. So let's say you have 2 extortions. They could be having like plus 90 speed and you have like minus 90 speed, almost like a 200 speed swing. Oh my goodness. This is going to change everything. I mean, I know some people are going to be upset because it's being reworked and Nute won't work with that Nute cheese. I mean, it was called Nute cheese from the beginning. They're trying to get away from turn meter increase. So, first time that Nute Gunray is defeated, he is revived with 100% health and turn meter. Every time Nute Gunray is revived, he stealths for 2 turns. So, when he dies, he's going to pop back up. He's going to take a turn right there. It's not considered a bonus turn, which is kind of interesting, but he's defeated and he just comes back. So it's actual death. So certain abilities like Nihilus, will get through that. And then he's stealth, so he's going to be hard to target. You're going to have to use AoE. I don't know how squishy he's going to be or anything like that. Obviously, the synergies are going to be with them. They don't have Asajj here, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if that is the way it's supposed to be, but it looks like all of these guys. I know a lot of people have Grievous quite a bit up and running because of the Padme event. The 1 Zeta thing was for a legit thing. And then we're also expecting a Dooku rework here in the near future. I kind of was expecting a capital ship for Nute Gunray, but that doesn't look like what we're getting here. But I'm pretty excited about this. I wasn't using the Nute cheese, so this is not a bad thing for me. What do you guys think? All right. Well, now it's time for the giveaway. Really hope you liked this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single person that likes this video, you will be getting for free in your account an 8-star Crying Arnold. This is not a scam. Or Giggling Arnold, or whatever. If you saw that last video, link up here in the description. Watch the last 4 or 5 minutes of that video from the 9-minute mark. It is like the most fun I've had making a video in such a long time. We just laughed hysterical. I had so much fun making that video with Arnold. We just lost our marbles. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.